wrong move. Yeah, but it wasn't necessary. And it may backfire in his face, because what if the
Two
U.S.
unverified photos, possibly artificial.
Oh, they are artificial. Those are not real. Yeah, that ain't no. It shouldn't be no blood on him. Or this is before they put him in a uniform. Oh Lord, I need to go. I don't know history. Got fear. I need to check this out. Russia urges U.S. to release Venezuela. Oh Lord, if Putin joins in with, oh wow, oh hold on, y'all. I don't, that look like him now. But why would he have blood on him? Oh wow. Oh wow. We may be in trouble. We may be in trouble. Putin don't play, and Putin, you know, he like playing in. Okay, so which one is it? Is it this with nothing on him?
Two unverified photos, possibly artificial intelligence.
Did they beat his ass because he had on a white shirt? Did he try to fight? Is this how it started? They probably are torturing him, y'all. Because you know Trump been wanting folk tortured. It started out like this. His shirt is all unbuttoned here. And it looked
unverified
like
photos,
they may have beat him out of his jacket.
Artificial.
Okay, did he have on a t-shirt? Oh wow, they done tortured this man. And you know, because y'all remember, Trump had a deal with Venezuela at first. I can't keep overemphasizing that. And he is mad at that man because that man he didn't lie for him when it came down to that guy, a Rubio, whatever his name is, that he had to be released. He had to be released. Trump lost that one too. Had to release him. But when he was first sent out in the middle of the night, they sent him to Venezuela. Wasn't it Venezuela? Who have the M6, M8, whatever? Who? Is that Venezuela? That gang, the VS, because at first they tried to make it be about the gangs. Now it's about drugs. But remember, it was about the gangs. This looks sad. What? And M13, MS something. And once they called over the M6 in UK, it was MS. It was M something. Venezuela. What is their notorious gang? Let me look it up. Because once they, where did, because they had got him in Virginia. And Virginia was happy. And he made a deal with them, gave them people back to them. Yeah, and they thought the Venezuela gang was coming to Memphis. And they was afraid. I need to look into it. I thought he said, Mm-mm. Hold on. I'm finna get it. Maybe it wasn't. I could have sworn. Hold on. What is the name of that game? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get it right. MS-13. Who is MS-13? Who is MS-13? MS-13. Hold on. MS-13. Who is, why? I'm on a different Salvadorians. Because there was a whole big old thing about them coming to Tennessee. And that chief was saying, oh, now we don't have that problem. No, they, no. And then they started coming to Memphis. And they was in Colorado and was taking over a whole apartment complex. Y'all, M13 is real nasty gang too. Yeah, Salvador. Mm. Bureau of Tennessee, they had all them people, them Top Guns from. Y'all don't remember that? Hold on, y'all. Y'all know how I am. That was in Colorado. Yes, they were in Colorado. They was taking over a whole apartment complex. And when the cartels, the Sinaloa cartels, got busted and arrested, they was about to take over in Memphis. Hold on. They had a whole meeting. FBI, Venezuela, Memphis. It's in my already Memphis Safe Task Force report. Venezuela access U.S. of carrying out. No. Venezuela accuses you. Oh, that's this one. Hold on. Gang news. Hold on. Now everything is okay, yeah. There's a few signs of the Venezuela gang, like that trendy agua. Terrorists. Hold on. Okay. Let me hear this. Oh, I got my earpiece on. Dang it. Let's hear this out. I'ma still play with it. But Trump had made a deal with these people. Where did they first send that guy? Maybe I got Salvador. But Memphis did have an issue with Venezuela gang. And let me double check and see what was the gang in Colorado. Took over a whole apartment complex. Oh wow. MS-13. Hold on. I knew I wasn't crazy.
2 unverified
Hold
photos.
on, I'll come back to this. I promise I will. Auntie, hi Mark. Get your story straight. Mark, hold on. With your smart ass mouth before they put you out. Don't put him out. I want his smart ass mouth to hear it. Yeah, dumbass. You don't know where you are. You're a guest. Don't put him out yet. I'll get him. Yeah. I want you to hear this, dum-dum. You get your story straight. Teresa, baby, don't do that. You don't know me well enough. Trust me. I've been doing...
Now, I do want to bring you more on a story. That we have been following here over the past several days as well. We brought you a news conference with Attorney General Pam Bondi as she announced the arrest in Florida of 3 MS-13 gang members, again, captured in the state of Florida. I want to talk more about the situation with MS-13 and really who they are, because we've heard a lot about Tren de Aragua, but not as much about MS-13. Let's bring in Fulton Armstrong, research fellow at the Center for Latin American and Latino Studies over at American University. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning.
Happy to be here. Thanks very much.
Of course. Well, first off, I do want to ask you if you can kind of break down what MS-13 really is overall.
MS-13 is very different from Tren de Aragua, which is a brand new organization that has emerged out of the Venezuelan crisis. MS-13 existed for many years. We actually put them on the list of transnational criminal organizations back in 2012, and we designated some of their leaders and I have to put quotation marks around leaders because their leadership is different from what many people think it is. But we designated some of them specially designated nationals, which means that they face particular sanctions and blocks in anything that they try to do. But it starts here as all of these gangs basically have their birth in the collapse of local institutions or local institutions, including city governments or neighborhood facilities.
Satoya said, "Well, why you do
because
that?"
of various problems, lack of funding or corruption. And even the collapse of the family in many places is one of the contributing elements in the creation of these gangs. And the gangs are then very happy to fill the void for that, and they grow in that way. They give particularly young men, a sense of identity. They basically give them a sense of employment.
You see how the military, did y'all just see how the military had their asses going? See, this is the CIA, how they be sending them to these foreign places. That's what they talking about, the military, the CIA be struggling, smuggling them, sending them to foreign places. And Trump had a deal with them, and he was going to send U.S. citizens over there. And when they called looking for that abuelo boy, whatever his name is, that has been tortured, that they had to release him because they lost that the other day. After that, he started bombing. But hold on.
Of identity, they basically give them a sense of employment as well, and they spread out through society. The difference between the leadership of the gangs and other entities that we'll hear about, like the drug cartels, is that it's very dispersed. There's not a lot of there's no truly central control over these gangs. What there is there's a culture and a way and a mode of doing things as they fill the void left by existing institutions. So their leaders are actually called corredores, runners, who just run messages among each other. They don't have a central strategy. They all know what they want to do. They want to fill that void. They want to make money through extortion, through petty crime, and through coercion of various neighborhood elements.
What about the local communities? How are they
Hold that thought.
And new at 10, it's scenes coming out of a movie as the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua are seen breaking into apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. This is according to our sister station in Denver. There you can see the group well armed and forcing an apartment door open and making their way in. This has raised concerns amongst residents and Colorado state law enforcement officials. The city of Aurora is issuing a statement today in the wake of national attention following the video's release. As we've reported in the past, Tren de Aragua is one of the fastest growing transnational criminal organizations from Venezuela. According to FBI officials, the gang has now infiltrated its way into the United States through various sectors of the U.S.-Mexico border.
I'm going to go back to the old guy who said the difference in the two. Hold on. One seems to be older, one is newer. One is older, one is newer.
are actually called corredores, runners.
Days as well. We brought you a news conference with Attorney General Pam Bondi as she announced the arrest in Florida of 3 MS-13 gang members, again captured in the state of Florida. I want to talk more about the situation with MS-13 and really who they are, because we've heard a lot about Tren de Aragua, but not as much about MS-13. Let's bring in Fulton Armstrong, research fellow at the Center for Latin American and Latino Studies over at American University. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning.
Happy to be here. Thanks very much.
Of course. Well, first off, I do want to ask you if you can kind of break down what MS-13 really is overall.
MS-13 is very different from Tren de Aragua, which is a brand new organization that has emerged out of the Venezuelan crisis.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, they one and the same. One is just newer. Can I get back to where I was now? Like I said, he was working with them. Something went wrong with their deal. And he got mad. Let me see something real quick. Venezuela gang take over an apartment complex. And see, now he wants to shame him. Because he done pissed him off. He didn't let him have his way.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
We have been out since about 4:30 this morning. The great men and women of law enforcement have been working on this operation for days and days and probably weeks. Early this morning, one of the top leaders of MS-13 was apprehended. He was the leader for the East Coast, one of the top 3 in the entire country. Right here in Virginia. Living half an hour outside.
That's right. This is where they got him, and the people in Virginia was excited about it and was happy about it, and Trump gave them back to Venezuela. I'm telling you, they had a deal. This was some time ago. They had worked it out, and that's why that guy, when they called looking for that guy, and Trump said he couldn't go get him, it was out of his hands, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then they caught him lying, and Trump was pissed. Can I get back to where I was, please? Yeah. Now, where that guy at? Let me go and put his ass out since he wanted to play. Mark, get your ass up out of here. I know what the f I'm talking about. Now, y'all say anybody else need to go? Anybody else need to go? Yeah, he was in Virginia. I remembered that because I was like, oh Lord, I got kinfolk there.
And let them do your taxes for you. Now this is taxes.
When you list on apartments.com, renters will start coming out of the woodwork.
Does it have a dishwasher?
We're learning new details after the Justice Department says one of the top MS-13 gang leaders in the U.S. was arrested just days ago outside of Washington, D.C. Attorney General Pam Bondi saying the 24-year-old man from El Salvador was in the U.S. illegally
he's from El Salvador.
and was taken into custody in Northern Virginia Thursday morning. Several federal and local agencies have been involved, from the FBI to ICE and the Prince William County law enforcement. The 24-year-old man from El Salvador, again in the country illegally, according to authorities. Victor Angry is a Prince William County supervisor representing the Dale City area, and the arrest did happen in his district. He joins us now to talk about it. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, first off, I want to start from the beginning here. When you start to get the information about the arrest in general and then it being in your district, what's going through your mind at that point?
Well, first of all, that the details of that always happen kind of after the fact. So, of course, it's a swarm of information that comes at you all at once. to understand what just happened. So, what I can tell you is I can tell you that the surveillance and the coordinated efforts of all the agencies involved in the task force went very well. So that part I'm very extremely happy with. Just learning the details of who the individual is, the status and the organizations they work with or alleged are members of, is always a lot to take in because I have to take that information and then get it back to the public to ensure that we are in a safe community and that we're doing all those things to ensure safety of our citizens.
Can you tell me a little bit about the area where this arrest happened specifically? I know it's your district, so what can you tell me about it?
Well, I mean, it is 100% heavily a residential area. So Dale City really is one of the oldest communities in Prince William County. It is filled with many homes, many townhouses, many apartments. So it's very residential.
What have community members been saying to you about just all of this? I imagine that it has to be something that literally everyone is talking about in some form or fashion.
Yes. I mean, the number one statement is that they didn't know they had such a high profile, alleged criminal in their community as their neighbor. The thing I share with that is the connection piece there is the fact that we have a community safety program that we have always had, but we've been improving over the last year or so. And events such as that event that took place really show that what we're doing is working and really cleaning up crime and really presenting public safety to all of our citizens.
Does it make you and the others in that community maybe feel safer knowing this person is off the streets, or are there potentially more concerns about who might be out there?
Yes, sir. Without a doubt, that answer is yes. It does make the community feel a lot safer, especially when you know that you have an alleged person of this caliber off the streets. Now, it's always going to put fear in others, but what we have to continue showing is that we're making those improvements to improve safety around this area, or to really hone in on it, and so to make sure that it is a safe area and a safe county, to tell you the truth.
People who are in that area who talk to you and maybe do say they're concerned, they have questions about who could be in the neighborhood where they live over in that Virginia community there that you represent, what would you say to them to maybe make them feel better, to feel safer out there?
And thank you, sir. I'm sorry. I will say what I always say to everyone, which is, and it's an old saying, if you see something, say something. Now, the issue there, because many people don't want to be involved when they know something is bad. So I will tell you, do what most people, and I say all the time, continue to reach out to my office. I don't report where I get it from. I become the one that reported. My last name is Angry, so I really push that forward to really get out there, and anything someone calls me with, I report to the folks that work for me, the staff in the county, and we get after those issues. And that goes from everything from even crime to really street lights, traffic, trash. Anyway, I won't digest from the conversation, but really reach out to my office, and we don't use names as we investigate whatever their concerns are.
When we look at this a little bit deeper, obviously the investigation itself is still underway. Do you specifically have any questions that you hope will be answered?
Well, I wish there was a way that we could know what type of high-profile individuals we have in the county, and I know that goes against surveillance, and you don't want to jeopardize whatever that search is. But it does bring to my head that I want to know, like, who does live in the county, and what kind of crime do we really have that I or leadership particularly does not know about. And I understand why we don't when it comes to surveillance and gathering information and making sure that as they go about these arrests, that they've done everything by the book. We have laws we have to follow, so I understand that. But those are just things I would like to know if I could, and I doubt I'll ever will. I'm really happy with the outcome of this particular situation here.
All right, Victor Angry, Prince William County Supervisor representing the Dale City area where the arrest did happen. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Let me get back so I can go. And we see if these pictures of this man look real. Let's cross-examine it again. He did start out on a white shirt.
are actually called corredores, runners, who just run messages among each other.
Trump gonna get in trouble. Somebody gonna catch him slipping. Somebody gonna catch him slipping.
Two unverified photos, possibly artificial intelligence generated images, are circulating on social media that appeared to show Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro
Same
being
hair,
detained
same
by
gray.
U.S. military personnel.
He looked in
The
distress right
authenticity
here,
of the
though.
images remains unknown, and so far, no credible news outlet in the United States or elsewhere in the world has confirmed their veracity. The U.S. military and the CIA have also not released any images of the alleged detention of the Venezuelan president. The images surfaced shortly after President Trump announced the capture of Maduro and his wife from Venezuela's capital in an unprecedented military action against the Caracas regime. The whereabouts of Maduro are currently unknown, and the last time he was publicly seen in the capital was during a meeting with a Chinese delegation. Visuals of that meeting were released by the Venezuelan government just hours before the reported U.S. military raid.
In the early hours of Saturday morning, the political map of Latin America was abruptly shaken. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was arrested by U.S. personnel and is now expected to stand trial in the United States. Utah Republican Senator Mike Lee says he spoke directly with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who confirmed that Maduro was detained during the overnight operation. Lee wrote that the military action seen across Venezuela was carried out to protect U.S. forces executing an arrest warrant, and that the operation likely falls under the president's constitutional authority to defend American personnel from imminent threats. Meanwhile, confusion and alarm grip Caracas. Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez says the government does not know the whereabouts of President Maduro or First Lady Celia Flores. In an emotional statement broadcast on state television, Rodriguez demanded immediate proof of life from Washington, accusing the United States of carrying out an attack that she says killed government officials, military personnel, and civilians across the country.
The city that saw the birth of the liberator of the
personnel and civilians across the country.
Wait a minute, when was
The
this?
United States of carrying demanded immediate proof of life from Washington, accusing the United States of carrying out an attack that she says killed government officials, military personnel, and civilians. The government does not know the whereabouts of President Maduro to defend American personnel from imminent threats. Meanwhile, confusion and alarm grip Caracas. Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez says the government does not know the whereabouts of President Maduro or First Lady Celia Flores. In an emotional statement broadcast on state television, Rodriguez demanded immediate proof of life from Washington, accusing the United States of carrying out an attack that she says killed government officials, military personnel, and civilians across the country.
The city that saw the birth of the liberator of the Patria Grande, that saw the birth of the greatest man of our continent, has been violated, has been attacked and assaulted in the face of this brutal situation and this brutal...
Is she talking about today?
Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez says the government does not know the whereabouts of President Maduro or First Lady Celia Flores. In an emotional statement broadcast on state television, Rodriguez demanded immediate proof of life from Washington, accusing the United States of carrying out an attack that she says killed government officials, military personnel, and civilians across the country. Delcy Rodriguez says the government does not know the whereabouts of President Maduro or First Lady Celia Flores. In an emotional statement broadcast on state television, Rodriguez demanded immediate proof of life from Washington, accusing the United States of carrying out an attack that she says
across the country could possibly mean people from the U.S. This man put us in. Absolutely. He made it seem like that lady was on board. Somewhere. Oh, wow.
Statement broadcast on state television, Rodriguez demanded immediate proof of life from Washington, accusing the United States of carrying out an attack that she says killed government officials, military personnel, and civilians across the country.
The city that saw the birth of the liberator of the Patria Grande, that saw the birth of the greatest man of our continent, has been violated, has been attacked and assaulted in the face of this brutal situation and this brutal attack. We do not know the whereabouts of President Nicolás Maduro and the First Lady Celia Flores. We demand that the...
See, he made it as long as she do what he want her to do. So it's dictatorship. And if she don't, then what? A huge war criminal. So why do you have to take over their country? They got a vice president.
The city that saw the birth of the liberator of the Patria Grande, that saw the birth of the greatest man of our continent, has been violated, has been attacked and assaulted in the face of this brutal situation and this brutal attack. We do not know the whereabouts of President Nicolás Maduro and the First Lady Celia Flores. We demand that the government of President Donald Trump immediate proof of life of President Maduro and the First Lady. President Maduro had already been very clear and had warned the Venezuelan people that an aggression of this nature, due to the desperation of the energy veracity of the United States, could occur. And the first thing that President Maduro said to the people of Venezuela was, "People to the streets, activated in militia, activated all plans." He has given very clear orders to the Bolivariano National Armed Forces to activate all plans in perfect military, popular, and police fusion.
As those claims spread, explosions rocked the Venezuelan capital. At least 7 blasts were reported across Caracas shortly before 2 a.m. local time, sending residents rushing into the streets as flashes lit up the night sky. Power outages were reported in parts of the city. The apparent strike lasted less than 30 minutes, but its consequences are still unfolding. President Donald Trump later confirmed the operation, announcing that the United States had carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela, and that Maduro and his wife had been captured and removed from the country. In his first remarks since the operation, Trump told the New York Times it was, quote, "a brilliant operation." He praised what he described as extensive planning and the performance of U.S. troops, saying further questions, including whether Congress was consulted, would be addressed during a press conference at Mar-a-Lago later today. Behind the scenes, new details are emerging. Sources inside the Venezuelan opposition tell Sky News they believe Maduro's removal was not purely military, but a negotiated exit.
The Bolivarian National Armed Forces informed the entire world that in the early hours of today, January 3rd, the Venezuelan people have been subjected to the most criminal military aggression by the government of the United States of America. So far, the barbarity of the invading forces that have desecrated our sacred soil in the areas of Fuerte Tiuna, Caracas, and the states of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira has reached the point of striking with their missiles and rockets fired from combat helicopters into residential areas populated by civilians. We are currently gathering information regarding the wounded and the dead. In the face of this vile and cowardly attack that threatens the peace and stability of the region, we raise the strongest denunciation before the international community and all multilateral organizations so that the U.S. government is condemned for its flagrant violation of the United Nations Charter and international law. This invasion represents the greatest outrage the country has ever suffered, driven by the insatiable greed for our strategic resources. Far from any supposed fight against narcoterrorism, this deplorable action seeks to definitively force a regime change and subject us to the spurious designs of North American imperialism, trampling on the inalienable right to self-determination for which our liberators fought and which we are now called to defend with the same dignity. They have attacked us, but they will not break us. United soldiers and people, we will form an indestructible wall of resistance. Our profound calling is peace, but our enduring heritage is the constant struggle for true freedom. We who always extend our hand in genuine brotherhood, today resolutely clench our mighty fist in steadfast defense of what is rightfully ours. Let us unite, for in the unity of the people we will find the strength to resist and to triumph. In the midst of this imperial onslaught, I make a fervent call for serenity and reason, to maintain unity and calm, and in compliance with the Constitution of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, the organic law on states of exception, and the organic law of national security, we fully support the decree of a state of external commotion throughout the national territory. Consequently, the men and women of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, following the instructions of citizen Nicolas Maduro Moros, constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, our commander-in-chief, will deploy all our capabilities for the comprehensive defense of the nation, the restoration of order and peace. Therefore, we will activate across the entire spectrum of the National Geographic space and in perfect popular military police unity, the full operational readiness through the massive deployment of all land, air, naval, riverine,